The Offering. No soul is safe from boredom is what the poster doesn't add. Out in theaters, new horror film from director Oliver Park, kind of a modern day version of a poor man's Rosemary's Baby with demonic possession instead of a cult, and in every aspect just very, very underwhelming. The story takes place in a modern day Orthodox Jewish community in New York. A funeral house owner is visited by his son and the son's very pregnant wife. They've come after years of not talking and not visiting, seemingly to mend things with the dad, but really because the son needs some financial help. But their arrival is instrumental in the accidental freeing of an evil spirit called Abizu that begins to haunt the house and its inhabitants. So it's a very small movie in terms of its scope. A few characters, mostly just one location, the interiors of the funeral house. And I always think that minimalism in movies helps really put the spotlight on what remains, on the key elements that now have to carry the weight of the entire film. The script, the acting, the cinematography. And in all three of those categories, there's something with potential here, but not enough to make the movie really, just remotely enjoyable. So in terms of the writing, I really enjoyed the Orthodox Jewish side characters. The father, his helper at work, the younger guy that knows shit about old demonic lore. I found it interesting to see the various aspects of their culture, the language, the looks, even the cuisine, but unfortunately they end up just being set dressing in the end, and the main couple who the spotlight is on are unfortunately just boring as fuck. In terms of the acting then, throughout the whole film I thought to myself, wow, this main protagonist is so fucking annoying. He's spineless and weak and pathetic, and then I realized, wait a second, I know this guy. I saw him years ago on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he was playing a completely different character and doing it convincingly. So, credit where credit is due. Nick Blood is doing a good job of portraying this character in the way that the script or the director required him to. He is consistent, but the end result is still the same. I found the character to be insufferable, and I was actively rooting for the demon to kill him, which isn't probably something you want from a horror film protagonist. And finally, the cinematography. Here also I had one thing which seemed okay, and that was the design of the demon while in physical form. At least in its first appearance it looks kind of cool, because later on it is visibly CG, and so it was kind of difficult to be afraid of it any longer. And the whole rest of the visual side of the film is unfortunately boring beyond belief. It's got uninspired shots, dreary colors and lighting. It uses all the familiar tricks of the horror genre without adding anything new from itself. Other than that, the story is completely predictable, the music forgettable, and the ending made me laugh, which, again, you probably want people to be scared at this type of ending. Overall, save yourself some time and skip this one. Even though there are individual elements that are interesting, they are far from enough to save this movie from being bad.